At 2:47 in the morning, in the heart of Saigon, the US Embassy was attacked, not by an army but by just 19 men. And what happened next shocked the world. It was January 31st, 1968. The Vietnam War had already been raging for years, but in Saigon, the capital of South Vietnam, things felt relatively secure. The US Embassy stood as a symbol of American power, protected by high walls, armed guards, and strict security. No one expected what was about to happen. In the early hours of the morning, a taxi and a truck quietly approached the embassy. Inside were 19 Viet Cong fighters. They weren't just soldiers, they were a suicide squad. Their mission was simple: break into the embassy and fight to the death. At exactly 2:47 a.m., the silence was shattered. Explosions ripped through the night. Using satchel charges, the attackers blew a hole in the embassy's outer wall, just 3 feet wide, but enough to change everything. The Viet Cong poured through the opening, entering one of the most heavily protected locations in Vietnam. 2 American military policemen stood guard at the entrance, Specialist Charles Daniel and Private Bill Sebast. They immediately returned fire, outnumbered, under attack. They fought as they fell back, reaching the steel gate, and they locked it behind them, stopping the attackers from entering the main building. Moments later, both men were killed, but their actions had bought precious time. The Viet Cong now controlled the embassy courtyard. The compound stretched across 4 acres, filled with gardens, trees, and open space. For the next 6 hours, they held it. Gunfire echoed through the grounds, but despite their success, they couldn't break into the main embassy building. The doors were too strong. Inside, US Marines and guards held their positions, waiting. News of the attack spread rapidly. The US embassies had been breached. It was unthinkable. This wasn't just a military attack. It was a psychological blow. If the embassy wasn't safe, nowhere was. As dawn approached, American forces prepared to retake the compound. Helicopters thundered overhead. At around 9:00 a.m., paratroopers from the 101st Airborne Division landed on the embassy roof. At the same time, troops advanced from the ground. The Viet Cong were now trapped. The battle was brutal, but short. One by one, the attackers were eliminated. By the end, 18 Viet Cong fighters were dead. 1 was captured. But the cost was real. 5 Americans had been killed out defending the embassy. The attack lasted just a few hours, but its impact was massive. It showed the world that the war was far from over, and that even the most secure places were not untouchable. This was the Tet Offensive, and nothing would ever be the same again.